dog lying on the floor, dying, waiting for his owner to come back to see him one last time. When the owner came back and found the dog lying on the floor, he realized that the dog was dying. He picked him up and sat him down on the sofa. It turned out that the dog had been running with his owner in the rain a few days ago. He had been in a car accident. The doctor came to the hospital and told Danny Enzo's injuries were serious. Every part of his body had been damaged to varying degrees, and Enzo was already old. It's impossible to reverse it. To put it simply, Enzo has entered the countdown to life. At this point, Enzo knows that his mission is not yet complete. He can't give up halfway, and he can't leave his master early. And so it was. Enzo miraculously survived through sheer willpower. Even the doctors couldn't believe it, but his strength was clearly not what it used to be. That day, the lawyer came back to Danny. Tell him to sign this agreement and give up custody. Your father-in-law will be off the hook, and he could see his daughter whenever he wanted. After all the ups and downs, maybe Danny was really tired. He decided to sign it, but that's when Enzo disagreed. He ran out of the room with the contract in his mouth. By the time Danny got outside, Enzo had already torn up the contract. When he saw this, Danny seemed to understand something. Without hesitation, he told the lawyer.
Call their lawyers. Tell them we'll see him in court. I'm with Enzo on this one.
The trial was soon to start. Danny knew that if he lost the case, he would lose his daughter forever. But at the last minute, Danny's mother-in-law was moved by his words and told her the truth. In the end, Danny got custody of his daughter back. He happily took her home with him. Shortly afterwards, Danny threw a party for his daughter's 9th birthday, but Enzo was lying on the floor, unable to move. He wanted to get up to celebrate his little master's birthday, but Enzo had no strength left. When Danny came home from work that day, he found the dog lying on the floor, dying. He seemed to be in a lot of pain. He knew Enzo was going to die, and that's how the scene began. He took Enzo in his arms and watched TV, but just then, Danny seemed to think of something. So Danny decided to help Enzo fulfill his dream of the dog's life. They got into a red Ferrari on a deserted track, and Enzo's mind kept going back to the time he had spent with his master. Everything was so far away and so close. It's been a long journey. Enzo has finally fulfilled his destiny, though his life is short. But in this moment, Enzo was satisfied. He wants to be by his master's side all the time, but he can't run anymore. Enzo believes in himself. He would take this memory with him and turn around. It was 8 years later. By now Danny was the best racer he could be, and the eye had grown up. She brought a little boy to Danny for an autograph. Danny left his contact details for the boy. Watching Enzo's departing back, father and daughter are sure they will meet soon. For those who have never owned a dog, this may seem bland, but not for those who have owned a dog.